Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Cuz You Don't Know Football. I'm your boy Reek. Of course, you see we got my boy Cesar back in the building. We've been waiting for him. We got to get to the bottom of what's going on in this league, okay? Of course, we in the way too early playoff predictions. So, because I've already given my playoff predictions, when we get to that part, I just give you my playoff predictions and then we'll just go from there. But before we even get to all of that, we're going to break down the northern teams. We're breaking down the off seasons for the AFC North and the NFC North. So Desire, what you think about everything coming into this? And you can talk about the fact that we on this again. You can bring that up.
Oh, I'm excited. Listen, I'm gonna pretend like it ain't even happened. I mean, you're a professional, man. This is my first time on it today. I mean, and
Let's
I'm
see.
excited. I smell that chip coming. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
mm,
Lamar's getting more weapons. You know what I mean?
huh.
Great off season.
Mm-hmm.
One one little thing we got to worry about. Well, two little things we got to worry about. And if either one of them halfway work out, it's trouble.
What's that?
Listen, what with my team?
Yeah, actually, you know what? Hold that thought because
If
we're gonna get
Jair Allen
we
is
hold on, no,
healthy,
just hold on to it because we're gonna get there.
okay.
So the way that I looked at it, because of course you see the Ravens jersey on this man. So I figured let's do the AFC North after the NFC North, and that way you get to really talk your shit in what's going on, okay? So we're gonna start off in the NFC North, and we're gonna start off with those Chicago Bears. So the biggest additions for the Bears was Drew Dalman, center, and Grady Jarrett, defensive tackle, and Dio Dengbo, who they got from my Colts. And their biggest losses are Keenan Allen, Tevin Jenkins, and Demarcus Walker. In the draft, the Chicago Bears, they got Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan, and they had three second round picks. So I just say all the second round picks. They got Luther Burton, wide receiver from Missouri, Ozzie Trapillo, Boston College, offensive tackle, and Shamar Turner, defensive tackle. So tell me about the Chicago Bears. Where they going? What's going on with them?
I still don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. I mean, anything's better than last year. What were they? They were 5-12. This is a stacked division, and even though they got a lot of turning around, turning around this fast. The team's super young. I think their whole goal is to move him around like a Sam Laporte to give that extra safety valve to that young quarterback, right? I mean I like it. I mean Caleb Williams, hopefully he's coming along, but this is going to be his second year, second head coach. I mean like there's a lot of changes in a year.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
very tough to develop in a system like that. Most critics or most analysts have this as one of the best drafts um, of any team. A couple places had this ranked in the top five. I could see because they had a lot of high end draft picks, but at the end of the day, we're doing their whole off season. Yes, they got a new coach. Yes, they got a lot of picks. Yes, there was some turnover. They covered up a lot of their mistakes. You know what I mean, but I don't see them making the playoffs.
So I tend to agree. Yes, they do have a brand new head coach. I'm very excited to see what he can do. Ben Johnson. They got Ben Johnson from Detroit Lions. Um, but I think you always build in the draft, and I'm not in love with their draft. I don't know why these tight ends that don't block very well is like a trend in the NFL, but it shouldn't be a trend. A tight end like Jimmy Graham, even going back to Jimmy Graham, Jimmy Graham was great until he went to Seattle and he had to block. Then he became a liability. If you look over in Atlanta, the next version of that, look at my man Kyle Pitts. I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing what everybody's seeing. So getting Colston Loveland, tight end, he don't really block as well. I don't know like that's going to limit it. He's going to be looked at to make plays off, in the passing game and be able to assist in the run game, and I'm not seeing that. But Caleb Williams in his second year. You can't really downplay his hype coming out of college and what he was able to do. So I mean, we'll wait and see. But I tend to look at it the same way. I'm not seeing what everybody's seeing when it comes to the Bears.
I I actually do like that Coast and Loveland pick because they did so much juicing up that offensive line that they're saying that they won't need him to block. You know, they went and they traded for uh, uh, Jonathan Jackson from the Rams, and they traded for Joe Thuney from the Chiefs. You know, like, and then they went and used an early second round pick on Ozzy Trapilo.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think they think that they have their protection solid, and what they really need is more safety valves for him to get the ball out too. So like I see exactly what you're saying. It really depends on scheme and where these players land. But if you think that your receiving core isn't super fast and like you want to get short yardage, easy, like you got pass protection, you want to get the ball out. I think they got the guy that they wanted for the type of job they want him to do.
We'll see. I'm telling you, I don't think that's going to work out though. But that's one man's opinion to another. All right, well, let's move on to another team in the North. Let's go to Minnesota. Let's head on over there, see what's going on there. All right, so the Minnesota Vikings. Their biggest additions, they got Jonathan Allen from defensive tackle from the Commanders, and they got Ryan Kelly, center from the Colts, and also Will Fries, guard from the Colts. Their biggest losses, they said they lost Sam Darnold this offseason. Cam Bynum actually came over to the Colts, and then Nick Mullins, who is also their backup quarterback. Now, in their draft, they got in their first round, they got Donovan Jackson, offensive guard, Ohio State. And then in their third round, they got Ty Felton, wide receiver from Maryland. And then in their fifth round, they didn't have a lot of draft picks. In the fifth round, they got Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, edge rusher from Georgia. What you feeling about the Vikings?
I mean they didn't have a super busy offseason, but I mean they're banking off the fact that they were 14-3 last year. Um, I think they think they have everything under control. The draft was kind of weak. Um, I want to say I'll tell you what they were ranked. Give me 1 second. Um, I don't even know what their draft was ranked. Their draft was a lower ranked draft. Um, they you know I it, I give it a C minus, maybe even a D. They didn't have a lot of wiggle room. They're they're betting the house on Justin Jefferson to carry this quarterback we ain't nobody never seen
And
before.
Jordan
Like
Addison.
I mean I
And
don't know
Jordan
how.
Addison too.
Okay. Oh yeah, Jordan Addison on the other side. Yeah, you're right. But they also like they went out and picked up another receiver early. So like I don't know, Jordan Addison is going to have the same type of year he had last year. They signed an Rondell Moore. Like this team, I think this is a wait and see year. They didn't do a whole lot in free agency. They didn't do a whole lot in the draft because they didn't have a lot of draft capital. They want to see where this quarterback could take them before they make any major moves.
Yes, that was you couldn't have gave me a better bridge. Yo, as a roster, the Minnesota Vikings as a roster is a damn good roster. Okay, if you look at top to bottom, their offensive line is good. They don't have many places where they're bad, and they have a couple difference makers at some very good decisions. I mean, at some very good positions. It's all about that quarterback, JJ McCarthy. Um, I'm one of those people that felt like he was overdrafted, and I think that's going to show. And I feel as though if it's not in the front of your mind subconsciously, you feel the same exact way. that he's going to be this roster could be 14-2 again. This is a good roster. Or what I think is going to happen because they don't have a good quarterback, they're going to be somewhere they're going to win something somewhere around like 8 or 9 games and miss the playoffs closely. But I think they'll be competitive. But I think they're going to win 8 or 9 games this year, and that's what I feel about the Minnesota Vikings.
I feel like I can't count JJ McCarthy out because they let Sam Darnold walk. You know what I mean? Like they could have kept Sam Darnold and traded JJ McCarthy. I think that they saw enough in JJ McCarthy. Like I know this is a taboo subject, but I'm not a Joe Burrows believer. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like when Joe Burrows was
wrong time to bring
out,
that up. You
they
talking about
still
JJ
got the same amount
McCarthy?
of production. I know, but here's where I'm bringing it up. When Joe Burrows was out, they got the same production from a backup quarterback. I think they think Justin Jefferson is so good that he can carry JJ McCarthy. All JJ McCarthy has to do is get the ball out there. I do feel like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are on that same tier, that same level wide receiver. We're gonna find out if it's the wide receiver makes the quarterback or the quarterback that makes the wide receiver. Justin Jefferson's already proven he's done it with Kurt. He's done it with Sam Darnold. I don't think that's that far of a stretch to say he's going to do it with JJ McCarthy.
Well, that's a good point. But
Now,
that's a good point.
will they?
But a good quarterback makes wide receivers. Let me say a great quarterback makes wide receivers. Wide receivers make bad quarterbacks.
Okay. I mean, this is one of those what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, yes, you can be a great uh, but then you'll see great quarterbacks without receivers, like they kind of fizzle out a little bit. You know, Josh Allen without great receivers is still a great quarterback. Then there's other quarterbacks in the world like I can't think off the top of my head, but there are some quarterbacks who looked a hell of a lot better with great receivers than without. Actually, Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins
but none of them were
when he got
great.
to Atlanta last year.
That's what I'm saying. You know what's funny about our age right now? We're now the ones with the wisdom. We have the information. We've seen this. We've seen this playbook. If anytime any quarterback you're thinking of right now was not great. There's no quarterbacks you're thinking of that were actually great that needed their wide receivers. That didn't happen. All of them that looked worse after they lost their great wide receivers, they were pretty good. They were good. They weren't bad, but they're not exceptional. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we gotta let that shine through a little bit. You know, we're that, bro.
But that's my point though, because JJ McCarthy could just be okay, and Justin Jefferson is going to get the rest of the way there. That like
That
they
could
might
happen.
if there's no drop off, there's no drop off. Then I think they bet the house in the next year because you have Sam Darnold. I'm not Sam Darnold. JJ McCarthy on this cheap deal. Like you're going to swing for the fences while you can.
Okay.
But
Okay.
if
And
not,
that's why
then
I
they're
said
going
because of their
back and they're
roster.
going
I
to get
said
it.
because of their roster, I felt like they would win 8 or 9
Yeah.
games. That's what I said. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm not feeling anything great now. If they had a quarterback with this roster, this would be a Super Bowl contender. That's the difference in what I'm saying between JJ McCarthy and
Okay.
you know what I mean, a really a great quarterback or a really good quarterback. Either way, I ain't gonna spend too much time on a team that I think is gonna win 8 or 9 games. So let's jump over to them Green Bay Packers. All right, them near additions, your rivals. Well, that's not your rivals, but we'll see. Uh, Nate Hobbs, cornerback, biggest additions, and Aaron Blanks, offensive lineman. Biggest losses: T.J. Slayton, defensive tackle, and Josh Myers, center, and then they lost AJ Dillon to the Eagles actually too. I forgot about that till I just saw it right then and there. Um, so in their draft they got Matthew Golden with their first round pick, wide receiver from Texas. In their second round they got Anthony Belton, offensive tackle, NC State. And in the third round they got Savion Williams, wide receiver, TCU. I want to talk about the Packers first. Can I talk about the Packers first?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. The Packers are going to win the NFC North.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The Packers are going to win the NFC North. Okay, I know that they didn't make a lot of splashy moves, but they had the youngest roster, first of all, in the playoffs. And of any team that can compete with the Eagles, it was only the Rams and the Packers were the only teams that, when you looked at it position for position, you could say, oh, they can match up with the Eagles. And I love Jordan Love. Actually, once again, let me give some flowers to y'all. For y'all who don't know, hold on, let me clear my throat. Cesar was the first person to bring up Jordan Love in a way that said he's a carrier of a team. And let me tell you something, brother. Might have been the smartest thing you've ever said. Jordan Love is a baller, bro. He's great. So when I look at them, when I look at their roster, they just had a young roster. The people that were there, the players that were there, they just got a year older and they were young. So I'm looking at them, and then when I look at their wide receiver room, now that they're wide receiver, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Christian Watson, and Romeo Dobbs. Like now their wide receiving room is like, oh, that's legitimate. The only listen, they're a dark horse Super Bowl team for me. They're a dark horse Super Bowl team for me. That's how high I think about the Packers right now. You could go now. Drops mic. Uh.
I like every I like everything you said. Everything you said except for one thing.
I knew you
Coming
would
into
because
the
I shouted you
draft,
out first. I did that on purpose.
coming into the draft, the Packers, like they had a rough season last year because my boy Love got injured at the beginning of the season, but he played like a champ, still made the playoffs.
Hmm.
They wanted to get a splashy receiver in free agency. But they wanted to get something splashy in free agency, and they just couldn't. Every time they went after somebody, somebody else went harder. Right? Got it.
But they're not a really free
Here's
agent
going to be the one.
team, though. No one wants to go to Green Bay unless you're drafted there. Then you're like, rah, rah, Green Bay. But they're not a destination for players that want to go there.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So you throw more money, and what they did was didn't throw more money. It's a playoff team. If they would have swung harder, they could be a Super Bowl contender. I do not like the fact that they came into this draft weak at linebacker. There was some people that left. Um, they re-signed McDuffie, I believe. Am I right on that?
They're linebackers. Yeah, Isaiah McDuffie.
Yeah. Right. Here's the one issue you're gonna have. They depth chart is kind of thin at that Mike line that inside that middle linebacker. They depth chart is kind of thin there. So
Mhm.
coming in,
I agree with you about the pass rush being a problem and the limiting factor for the Green Bay Packers. So we are going to move on to the division winning Detroit Lions, and we're going to see what's going on with them. So Detroit, their biggest additions of the offseason, we've really just had one. It was DJ Reed, the cornerback. Their biggest loss was they lost cornerback Carlton Davis. That was a big one. They lost Darius Smith, and they also lost offensive lineman Kevin Zeitler. So in the draft, let's see what Detroit did in the draft. Okay. Okay. I think we got it. All right, cool. In the draft, what they got Talik Williams, defensive tackle out of Ohio State in their first round pick. Then in their second round pick, they got Tate Ratledge, offensive guard, Georgia. And then in their third round pick, they got Isaac Tesla, wide receiver out of Arkansas. Okay, so what is the nature of these Detroit Lions going into this season?
the Detroit Lions are like the Vikings, only they have a quarterback. Um, I think this team they're going to make the playoffs. I have them winning the division. Um, I like. I mean, they didn't make a whole lot of moves. All their moves made sense. Um, in this division, though, I don't like the fact that they're so thin at cornerback. Um, they picked up They didn't pick up another cornerback in the draft. I didn't see them sign a cornerback. Oh yeah, they signed three cornerbacks. Um, they signed cornerbacks, but they also lost a bunch of cornerbacks, if I'm not mistaken. Where's my notebook at? Um, the Lions, yeah, they lost three cornerbacks, but they picked up three cornerbacks too. This is a tough division to I think they're gonna win the division. Um, they made smart moves. They picked up everything they needed. It's just their projected draft projected depth chart.
Hmm.
Um, I'm on the right team. No, it's Green Bay. They're projected. They don't have DJ Reed on the one side.
No.
Hopefully he stays healthy.
I mean, yes, they do. They have
Huh?
DJ Reader at one defensive tackle. And then they have Aiden Hutchinson and then Marcus Davenport as their other defensive end.
No, I'm talking about cornerback.
Cornerback. They got Terrion Arnold is one cornerback, and DJ Reed is their other cornerback. Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna need some more depth on that right side.
I get what you're saying. Um,
Yeah.
so with the Detroit Lions, of course, there's no question this roster is highly talented. Would love to see another pass rusher. However, I think outside of that, this roster, I mean, you're not going to be able to do a much better job with this roster. My fear with this team, it has more to do with their head coaching staff changing. So Dan Campbell, he hired John Morton as the offensive coordinator and Kelvin Shepard as the defensive coordinator. Never heard of either one. That's strike one for me. Strike two is I don't know if Dan Campbell was the kind of guy to get the coordinators right like he did. So losing Ben Johnson and I'm about to call him Kirby Joseph, my man for the Jets head coach as well, the defensive coordinator. That's losing. That's replacing a whole culture. Yeah, I mean that's replacing two cultures. And usually from an offensive or defensive unit, when you change uh, uh, a whole philosophy like that you see down slopes on the roster. I don't know if they're going to be able to compensate for that, and I'm very interested to see what they're able to do for that. To be honest with you, Detroit's one of the teams that I could see missing the playoffs. And I know that sounds crazy because they went to the NFC Championship game last year. They've been a juggernaut. I mean, they're doing all this stuff. But keep in mind, there's an average of six new teams that missed the playoffs that made the playoffs the year before. Somebody's going to catch you off guard. So I'm thinking looking at the fact that the head coaches, I mean, not the head coaches, the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are new, and I've never heard of them. I need to see what they're going to do. Um, but no, I told you, I already said that I thought that the Packers are going to win the NFC North anyway.
Okay. I can see that. To me, you got to dethrone the champs, and the Packers missed on their. Like I said, I felt like they wanted to sign a big splash wide receiver or another running back. I feel like this roster, it competes with every other roster in this division, top to bottom. Uh, I feel like this team is, that they're at that point. Like, they got Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery. They have depth everywhere except for at that cornerback position. I mean, they probably should have went after another defensive end because those injuries are you know, those injuries last year kind of fucked up their season. But I can't saying fucked up is crazy because they were 15-2.
Hmm.
But I mean I like this roster top to bottom. I mean they didn't really have a great draft, but when you're already a super talented team, it's kind of tough to have a bad draft.
Right. So
They had the best tight end in the division. Their wide receivers right up there with everybody else. Um, they probably have the best running game in the division. Jared Goff. How old is Jared Goff?
he
He's
up
an
there
older
now. I don't
quarterback,
know his
but
age, but he up there now.
he'll be 31 this year.
That's it. I feel like he's older than that.
Nah, he'll be 31. I mean, and I feel like they got him at a good price too. So I like this roster. I got them winning the division. Uh, I think they do have a more talented team than the Packers. Although I like you said, I was the first one to call the Packers. I think the Packers are gonna get that wild card this year. Like there's gonna be two teams from this division going to the playoffs, and I think it's gonna be Lions and Packers. We'll see if the Vikings or that third are going to make it again this year.
We'll see what JJ McCarthy got to offer. Okay, so we did the NFC South. I mean NFC North. Let's move over to them AFC. Let's see what that jersey talking about, huh? Let's see what's going on. So we're gonna go over to the AFC North and talk about those North teams, and we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to your division. We're gonna bring the heat over here. So let's do that. I think it's very safe to say we can start with the Cleveland Browns, and which there's a little simmer, then we go build up. You see, uh, so Cleveland, in this offseason, their biggest additions was Kenny Pickett, quarterback, Cornelius Lucas, offensive tackle, and Joe Tyron, outside linebacker. Their losses was Dalvin Tomlinson, the defensive tackle, Juan Thornhill, the safety, and James Hudson, the offensive tackle. Now in the draft, they got Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. Then they got in the second round, they got Carson Swensinger, linebacker UCLA, and then they had a second round pick, which was Quinshawn Judkins, the running back from Ohio State. Are the Browns gonna add some heat to y'all this year? I'm just curious. Inquiring minds would like to know.
I love the Browns franchise. As a Ravens fan, you cannot have a more dysfunctional rivalry, right?
Hmm.
So you need a quarterback. You need a quarterback. You need a quarterback. You know what you do? You go get Joe Flacco. Hurts a little bit. He has a history. He won a Super Bowl with us. He's a very capable quarterback. He did his thing. Like James Winston put hell numbers up. Let him walk off. Let him get nothing. Bring Joe Flacco back for his 80th year in the league. And then what do you do? Go get Kenny Pickett, who was terrible with the Steelers. All right, so now you got some insight to two of the other franchises. That does make more sense when you think about it. That's a coaching thing when you have two quarterbacks coming in that could tell you about four of the games that you're gonna have, right? Here goes the issue. Why
Hmm.
do you draft two quarterbacks later in the draft for no fucking reason, right? I mean, I'm not mad at the Shador Sanders pickup. I'm not mad at Dylan Gabriel, but how are you gonna want me to perform and have confidence when you done put 15 quarterbacks in a quarterback room? I mean, like that's great. Now you're splitting all these reps up. You're gonna throw it off the timing on everybody. Oh, and then not only did that, you went and got Deontay Johnson, the guy who says, "Nah, I'm all right. I don't need to go in the game." Go ahead, keep fucking up, Cleveland. Cleveland, please, make it easier for us. Like
I mean,
I,
dysfunction.
you not only have a head case at wide receiver, you have all this turmoil at quarterback. Like I don't perfect, perfect. You went out and you know what the one pick you did get right.
What
Maybe you
pick?
got
What
you
pick?
this this Tennessee running back Dylan Thompson. He's supposed to be
Okay.
exactly man for man Nick Chubb. We'll
Okay.
see.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Junkins from Ohio State.
Hmm.
I like those two running backs,
Hmm.
and also the tight end from Bowling Green. That he's going to fit their scheme. Only problem is, do they know what their scheme is? I
No, I
don't.
don't. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
the
any player on
Cleveland
that.
Browns know anything. Dysfunction is it? When you look at their roster, while I'm talking, go look at their depth chart. They got such a talented motherfucking roster. It don't make no goddamn sense, and they're about to blow this whole thing up. So I really feel as though and this that's also going to effectively tank Shador Stevenson's career. or Shadur Sanders' career, excuse me. Um, because they're gonna say come in and make this work, and he's not gonna be able to do that. I thought he was very good. I don't know if he had qualities to uplift a roster. He needs help. This would be the roster to start him in, but they're gonna blow it up before he gets the opportunity to start. Why? Because the fifth round or sixth round quarterback sits. That's why. He's not that person. We don't talk about that person. He don't. It does. But what I'm saying is
I
the name is the
I
name. It
can't
don't
I can't
matter.
think.
We've never seen a situation like that where they did that. Hold on, not only did they do that in this draft, hold on, not only did they do that, right? They drafted a quarterback, brought in two other quarterbacks, which is going to tank his career. They drafted, right, the guy Mason Graham, defensive tackle, but they traded back. And they could have had Abdul Carter. Instead, they got Jason Graham. And I'm like, I don't understand why you are getting a lesser value player, then you go get the player. So Cleveland has a whole hell of a lot of talent. They clearly did a lot of things right. They don't get the it still. They still, I mean, bro, just shouting out some names. First of all, Jerome Ford is
I
still the number
feel as
one.
though
He's still the number one running back on this roster. Jerry Judy is still on this roster. David Njoku is still on this roster. Okay, Miles Garrett is still on this roster. Now they got Mason Graham. Now we got he supposedly be the guy. We'll see about that. Denzel Ward is still on this roster. Greg Newsome is still on this roster. And they about to blow this whole thing up because they don't understand how to put pieces together. Like they ruin themselves at the bigger positions of needs.
well, blame it on Kevin Stefanski.
This is ridiculous. We've never seen anything like what the Browns did. I don't know how you effectively say we feel good about picking the wrong things and taking the wrong things in the offseason and in the draft repeatedly. I don't know how you feel good about that, but somehow they feel amazing about it. And I'm like, good for you. It must be great to be stupid and feel great about being stupid because stupid don't know it's stupid. So that's here nor there.
Listen, as a Ravens fan, I appreciate this. I appreciate,
I'm
yo, go
sure
ahead and make it
you
the highest
do.
paid defensive player ever. Go ahead and sign 5 quarterbacks. Go ahead and get that wide receiver who refused to play. Go do it all. Do it all at the same time.
I'm
Like
sure you do.
most teams, when they make a fuck up at a time, this team makes.
It's no doubt in my mind. You're loving every second of it. You probably had some lemonade with the straw, with the twirly straw. You see? I'm sure you was drinking it through that with some sunglasses and that hat on. Like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay? Because I think that's an interesting
Again,
roster. I think that's
more
an interesting
dysfunction.
roster.
And
So
the Steelers aren't normally
you said the Steelers aren't what?
they're not normally a dysfunctional team. But what they did was they created dysfunction this year, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Do you mind? I'm gonna tell them that. Do you mind if I start with the Steelers?
Go ahead.
Okay. Because you know you a guest, I like you, so I just want you to know, we can have it any other way. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, their biggest additions is getting Darius Slay Jr., cornerback Mason Rudolph, and they got DK Metcalf via trade, and they also just got um Jalen Ramsey as well. Their biggest losses was Najee Harris, the running back, and Justin Fields. Um, so what did they do in the draft? So in the draft, in their first round pick, they got Derek Harmon, defensive tackle from Oregon. And then they didn't have a second round pick. In third round, they got Caleb Johnson, running back from Iowa. And then in fourth round, they got Jack Sawyer, edge rusher from Ohio State. Um, The Steelers did something that I've never really seen the Steelers do. They went and they got Aaron Rodgers as well. For people who don't know, they got Aaron Rodgers, but they allowed him to wait half the offseason, not have rapport with his wide receivers, and he really only has one good wide receiver. So I feel as though the camaraderie is going to be off. I feel as though the connection between him and his wide receivers, I feel like he's old now. He's not the same Aaron Rodgers, and I've never quite seen them say, you know what, we're going to do what another player said, like another player is going to dictate to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I've never seen that, and I think there's a lot that's going to come from that. Now they still have that defense. You know what I mean? That defense is still there, and they're gonna in their cornerback room. It looks a lot in terms of names. It looks a lot like your Baltimore Ravens cornerback room. In that they got names all over the place in there. They're going to be a heavy blitzing team. And yes, but they needed another weapon. Absolutely needed another strong weapon. They don't have that. I'm not sure what that running game is going to look like. I'm not sure what that offensive line looked like. It wasn't really great last year. Uh, there's just a lot not to like about what's going on with Pittsburgh right now, and I'm not really. This is new for me because I always look at Pittsburgh as a juggernaut, a respectable franchise, and I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing right now? What you think?
I think they completely shit the bed, and I appreciate the Pittsburgh Steelers because they want to give us the division so we can have a run at a championship, my boy. Look, not only did not only did they let Aaron Rodgers dictate how terrible he's going to make this team, right? So, like, I'm thinking in the offseason, well, they're going to get a quarterback in the draft. They're going to bring Aaron Rodgers in, or they'll keep one of the two guys they got last year. No, they let both of them walk for nothing. You get Aaron Rodgers late in the season. You get DK Metcalf, who's kind of like over. He's burnt out. He don't really want to play football no more. He really wanted to go to a contender, and this team ain't contending. At the time, everyone thought it was going to be George Pickens and DK Metcalf, who said, "Who the fuck is going to stop these two burnouts?" Well, guess what? You made it easy for us,
They did it themselves.
right? So now look at this running back room. Jalen Warren. You don't have a running back here who's cracked 600 yards. You got the third string running back for the Eagles. Caleb Johnson is 32 years old. He's only played one season of football and is for the Ravens 10 years ago. Bruh, please tell me. Oh, and TJ Watt wants to be the highest paid defensive player in football. Guess what? They're probably going to move him. Yo, listen. If you want to give us 6 games, give us 6 games, baby. That's all I'm saying. Like y'all, and listen,
I'm about
we
to get a
got.
lot of I'm about to get a lot of ratings from your tirade. Keep going. I'm loving this.
I'm just saying, like, listen, I I respect the Steelers. I respect the hell out of them, right? My man has never had a losing season, right? But it's a first time for everything. It's a fucking first time for everything. Cause what y'all did this all season, Mike Tomlin, I don't know. Maybe you want to tank the season because you're going after that Manning. I really don't know what's going on. Y'all made some moves to make me nervous, and then you go ahead and get Jalen Ramsey. Like, all right, but this ain't the same Jalen Ramsey it once was. Like,
No, no, it's not.
guess what? Y'all gave up a very good safety for an okay cornerback, a nickelback. Like, okay, like do that,
Now, I
please.
do think Jalen Ramsey, it would be
Not
smarter Jalen
Patrick
Ramsey
McQueen and
to
paid him all
go
that
play
money. Thank
cornerback
you
and safety
again.
at the
Like,
same time.
I appreciate the Steelers because y'all gonna make this is gonna be Lamar Jackson's third MVP, and it's
Okay. Now, I was just saying, I do think it would be smart of Jalen Ramsey to basically say, I'm going to play cornerback and safety. I think he needs a little transition, a little bit more to safety to expand his career, but we'll see what happens. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Um, so with that said, Steelers, I don't know what y'all doing. This is gonna get bad. I think this is about to get bad. Let's move over to them. Let's move over to them Bengals. Let's move over because I got some things to say about your Ravens. So we're gonna move over to these Bengals. All right. So the Bengals, what we got here? So their biggest additions is BJ Hill, defensive tackle, TJ Slayton, defensive tackle, and Mike Krzyzewski. They re-signed him for the tight end. and they lost Alex Kappa, offensive guard, Sheldon Rankins, defensive tackle, and Sam Hubbard, defensive tackle. Now, in their draft, they got edge rusher Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M, in the first round. In the second round, they got Demetrius Knight, linebacker from South Carolina. And in the third round, they got Dylan Fairchild, offensive guard, Georgia. Hold on, I want to go. I want let me do Baltimore. I mean Baltimore. Let me do Cincinnati first too, because I got some stuff to say about them. Then I'm gonna let you go on your talk your shit with your Ravens. Um, listen, the Ravens. I mean the Bengals, in my opinion, should have traded both of their wide receivers. That's really how I really honestly feel. The holes that they have on their roster, having two wide receivers will not compensate for. And it's the thing that people don't understand about wide receivers is they need an offensive line to block first for them to get open. They need a quarterback to get them the ball respectively. The fact that Joe Burrow didn't have any of that or a defense to even help. Like that's one of like his season last year is a very underrated great season. They didn't even make the playoffs, but the run that they had, they looked like a team that you may not want to play in the playoffs either. So Joe Burrow for me had a great season. It just doesn't seem like it because they didn't make the playoffs because his roster is so bad. Now, I don't know how you lose in offensive guards and an offensive lineman with a piss poor offensive line already. But the how the Bengals are dealing in Joe Burrow's career is reminiscent of my Indianapolis Colts with Andrew Luck. I hate that they're not protecting him. I hate how many hits he takes all the time. It's ridiculous. I feel bad for him in that regard, which is why I said I think they should have traded T. Higgins and Jamar Chase this offseason and filled out the roster. Now, with that said, I still think they're a sneaky team when it comes to when it comes to the playoffs. And that has a lot to do with the other teams. I think they're a sneaky team. And I think it has to do with if Joe Burrow can do it again. Now, they could be a team that's sneaky, like 8 or 9 wins. Do I think they got 10 wins in them? No. 9 wins could, depending on what's going on, get them into the playoffs, though. Um, or they could win like 7 games. And I think they're somewhere between 7 and 9 wins this season. And I think it has a lot more to do with Joe Burrow than whatever else is on this roster, even with those two exceptional wide receivers. They're probably gonna keep uh, the defensive end, although he's probably a little bit more disgruntled at this point. What's my man's name? Sorry, I couldn't think of his name. Trey Hendrickson. They're probably going to keep Trey Hendrickson, and they probably should have moved him too. And they should have just taken this year and said, let's rebuild for next year. But they think they got a chance that I don't think that they really have, which is the most frustrating thing. Like, all right, if I got this quarterback, I would take a step back for a year. I mean, if they win 8 games and miss the playoffs, or if they won 4 games, I don't see, like, for me, that's not a big. I would prefer to win 4 games than 8 games because now I get to rebuild properly. And then they're not setting themselves up for that rebuild that they actually do need. And I think they're gonna pay for that. You know what I mean? That's a shame because I love Joe Burrow, but I actually feel as though the moves that they've made is gonna be a asterisk on his illustrious career. That's what I really feel.
I will agree. When you want to go ahead and spend a
I
hundred
gave
and
I
eighty
gave you
million
that,
dollars, or
sir.
no, two
I
hundred
gave
and
you
eighty
that,
million
sir.
dollars, you want to spend $280 million on wide receivers? I appreciate you. You want to have a real running back? I appreciate you some more. I mean, they did beef up the offensive line. They do have some depth at offensive
No,
line.
they
I
didn't.
guess they're
The offensive
thinking that
line
Joe Burrow is
stinks.
just going to shoot the lights out on everybody. Listen, I I can't say it's good or bad. You know, I'm not a Joe Burrow's fan. Like, yeah, he is good. He's good. He's very good.
He's
Everyone has
damn
him
good.
as elite. I put him as elite because, as I put out before, when the Bengals lost Joe Burrows, they got the same production from a backup that nobody even knows his name.
Uh,
So I'm gonna
Browning.
put,
Browning.
there you go. I'm gonna
You
put
don't
this.
play with me. You know you think you're talking to, okay? You know you're
Listen,
talking to.
I'm
Of
gonna
course
put
I know
this.
who it is.
I don't know why they would go ahead and lock up both those receivers for so much money and leave so many holes everywhere else. They had the second worst draft in as oh man, as a draft ranking, there was only one, and that was the Minnesota Vikings. Like the worst draft was the Minnesota Vikings. The second worst draft is the Bengals. I don't. The only difference is the Minnesota Vikings have the talent to carry that, and I don't think the Bengals do. I do, however, think that they might be a wild card, because they were here. Um, but I think they went out and they did draft another. Hold on, give me 1 second. I feel like they drafted another wide receiver, which I mean, fuck it. While you're at it, go do what you're gonna do. Like I I just appreciate when teams do dumb stuff in my division, and I feel like every team in my division did dumb stuff. Like
I agree.
I really
I
can't be
agree.
mad at this. I
I
listen.
agree. I agree. The
This,
prioritization and
this reminds me of this reminds me when Freddie Mitchell with the Eagles had that speech after they won the NFC Championship game. Thank my hands for being so great. Thank the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers for being so dumb this season.
did you just compare every other team in your
Yeah,
division to Freddie Mitchell?
I think uh this is gonna be one for us.
Yo, he did. Yo,
Yes,
yeah, I've never heard no shit like that. Yo, somebody just compared the whole
listen.
division to Freddie Mitchell.
Thank, thank my division for being so dumb.
Oh,
Thank my division for putting money everywhere it shouldn't be. All right, yes. Aaron Rodgers, he might have a little gas left in the tank, but DK Metcalf wasn't even that healthy last year. Like, like I might have been afraid of Deshaun Sanders or Shador Sanders or uh Gabriel, whatever his name is, something Gabriel something. I might have been afraid of them if they believed them. They got both those quarterbacks on the back end of the draft.
we gonna finish this up. You know what I'm saying? With the team that we all here to talk about. You know we here to talk about your Ravens. We got a lot of things to
Everybody here,
get to
look,
the bottom of. Listen,
everybody here, baby.
listen, you lucky that's Ed Reed. Even listen, you lucky that's Ed Reed, okay? The greatest safety of all time. You lucky that's who that is. That's all I'm gonna say.
Of
That was
all
like
times.
because that was like even like Chris McAllister or somebody like that. I'd be like, take that jersey off, okay? They ain't got time for this shit. But you lucky it's Ed Reed, and
If
it's one of
if
my
it ain't
idols,
Ed
you know?
Reed, it's Ray Lewis.
It's, so yeah, to be real with you, I loved Ray Lewis. I love watching Ray Lewis play, but I get butterflies in my stomach when I watch Ed Reed play. You know, it's just something different. It's something about Ed Reed that I'm like, damn, it's Ed Reed. So that's here nor there. So let's look at the Ravens all season. They of course picked up Jair Alexander, cornerback from the Green Bay Packers. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley, offensive tackle. Got DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver, and y'all picked up Cooper Rush, but I don't know if that's like I don't know what that's gonna be about. But the losses that I got, y'all lost Patrick McCarry, offensive lineman, and Brandon Steffens, cornerback. I guess we gotta make room, and Malik Harrison. Um, now in your draft, you drafted. In the first round, you
Very
drafted Malachi Starks, safety from Georgia. In the second round, you got Mike Green, edge rusher from Marshall. And in the third round, you got Emory Jones Jr., offensive tackle, LSU. Go ahead. I'm gonna just sit back here and I'm just gonna let you talk for a second.
The champ is here. The champ is here. Listen, I mean, we went deep last year. My team, my my team always shows improves. Like I can't be mad at 12-5. We needed badly edge. We had not so much production from the edge, and because we didn't have that much pressure on quarterbacks, it made our secondary look bad. And you know what we did? We want to fix both. All right. Um,
Weren't y'all top five
I
in
love
sacks
the
last year?
Malachi Starks pick.
I'm pretty sure y'all were like top
I like
five sacks last year.
Starks. I think we have the best secondary in football on paper. Huh?
No, I said, weren't you guys top
What
five
was
in
that?
sacks last year? Like y'all were like top three sacks leaders last year, right?
We had to move some stuff around. We had to move Kyle Hamilton. If you notice, a couple of our losses, I feel like our first two losses came at the beginning of the season, right? Once we moved some stuff around, we made some adjustments. Like we went on a hell of a run.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I feel like the Ravens. I mean, I don't see it. It's all hits, no misses. All hits, no misses. This secondary, bruh, Wiggins, Hamilton. Now we got
If
Starks.
what you
If
call it
Jair,
stay healthy, if Jair Alexander stay healthy, yes, but he has not stayed healthy. So keep that in
if
mind. I just
Jair
want you.
Alexander
Yes, if Jair Alexander stays healthy, you have the best cornerback room in football. Absolutely.
Then we got Marlon Humphreys. Like it's a problem back there. We got Roquan Smith, one of the best to ever do it, right?
Mhm.
We got Cal Van Noy. Um, we are loaded on defense. We're loaded on defense. And then, this rookie Starks. I mean, I hate to say that a rookie's gonna be impactful, but he's gonna be impactful because we're gonna bring him up the right way.
Okay.
Like we still got the best fullback in football. Mark Andrews, he made one too many
Aaron
drops
Jones is
last
a
year.
fullback.
Listen,
All right, you real happy now. You brought him a fullback.
Patrick Carter is the best fullback in football.
It ain't but three of them.
Oh my God!
It's him, it's
Listen,
Juszczyk, and it's like one other guy. Like,
DeAndre Hopkins, I feel with a productive team and a whole preseason, off season to adjust, I feel like he's going to be what we need him to be. I like our wide receivers. I like our running back room. I love our quarterback, my boy. Listen, I can't. I listen. We win in the division. We're going to be one or two in the AFC. We're taking it all the way to the house. All right. You heard it here first. My division is giving us 6 easy games because they all want to be fucked up. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And
mhm.
I appreciate that. My team, we're winning
So
the
y'all just
Super
gonna
Bowl
sweep
way
the
too
division.
early.
So y'all
We're
just gonna
going
sweep the division.
no. We'll take one loss in the division. You know what I mean? We'll
One
we'll,
loss.
we'll donate one loss to them niggas.
Okay.
We're gonna donate one loss. We're gonna be 5-1 in the division the division.
Okay. Keep going.
5-1. I don't know where that one's coming from. You know what I mean? I don't know yet, but I feel like we're gonna you know what? It's gonna be we're gonna give Joe Flacco one for the one time. You know what I mean?
On the
One
Browns,
time for the
that's
one
the one y'all
time.
gonna
Joe
lose to?
Flacco is a Raven. He gonna get a victory off of us because Aaron Rodgers ain't. Aaron Rodgers might not live after that game.
he's, he's just
We
gonna
we
die.
gonna overlook him. We see how you just laughed at that.
He's just gonna die.
Listen,
Like Creed, like when Apollo Creed fought the fought the Russian, he's gonna die after that one.
yeah. Listen,
Um, okay,
listen. My team is all that and a bag of chips, my boy.
okay. So I don't have many questions about y'all. I love your coaching staff. Um, I love your offensive line. I love your quarterback. I really like your number one wide receiver. I love your tight end room. I would like to see you guys get a better number two wide receiver. But Lamar Jackson is showing people he don't care that they don't have a good or even suitable number two wide receiver. Like it's not even mattering. Um, I would love that. And traditionally, and I've said this to
DeAndre
you,
Hopkins is sure hands, my boy.
he's done, bro. He's stop. He's done. He's done. He's
He's
done.
not done.
He's
He's not,
done. Stop it.
bro.
Stop it.
You can't
Stop it. Just stop
just
it.
remember this. No, 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 no. This you're going to hear first, right? We thought he was done when he was with Tennessee, right? But we also thought Derrick Henry was done when he was with Tennessee. Mid-season, he goes to the Chiefs. The Chiefs were having problems with the offensive line,
And he was a
and they didn't
non-factor.
have no wide receiver.
And he was a non-factor in a room with no wide receivers. That's
Can,
what I'm
can,
trying to
can I
tell
ask you a
you. He's
question?
not a factor.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What wide receiver made a mid-season trade last year and was effective?
Not many of them were traded in the middle of the season. Like it was like Deontay, the dude that came to y'all. Um, it was it was exactly who
There was
we're
a lot of wide receivers.
it
A lot
was
of wide receivers
DeAndre
got moved
Hopkins.
last year.
Who mid-season?
Very uncanny.
Mid-season?
You,
It wasn't. I'm thinking too.
my boy left the Raiders to come play with Aaron Rodgers on the Jets. Amari Cooper left where he was to go play with Josh Allen on the Bills. No one was effective last year because you need that preseason. You need to get your timing with the quarterback to get your routes ran. You as a wide receiver, even anytime a wide receiver skips that preseason, he normally has hamstring issues during the season. Bro, all those holdouts every year, guess who gets injured? Mark my words. My boy Hopkins ain't that there's still gas in the tank. And you know what? I can't wait. Do we play y'all this year? Because he gonna burn y'all up if we play y'all. I know he gonna burn y'all ass up just because you said that.
He ain't going to do shit. I don't think we play all this shit, but he ain't going. He's not the one that I'm worried about. I'm telling you that right now. And matter of fact, I'm telling you now because we actually have really good cornerback room now. So no, he's not. So about your Ravens, as I was saying, I don't have many questions outside of
Oh,
your number.
August 7th, we're gonna bust the ass in the preseason. August 7th, we're gonna bust
Care
the ass in the
about
preseason.
preseason. You know how to you notice how when you said
Listen,
preseason, the first word is actually two words there, and the first word is pre, which means before, which means it's before the season, which means I don't care.
that's the only chance we get to bust y'all ass. But don't worry, if y'all ever make it to the playoffs again, ever, y'all might be able to lose in the first round while we get a bye week. But it's okay. Go ahead, keep going.
Thank you. I appreciate your soliloquy. I don't have many
Oh, time
questions.
out, time out, time out. Just to let you know that my boy DeAndre Hopkins got more gas in the tank. You know what they said at minicamp, right?
No.
He's the fastest wide receiver on the team. He's
If
faster than
if
Rashad Bateman. He's faster than Zay Flowers. He's the fastest wide receiver on the team.
this is only adding. Now, I like Zay Flowers. This is only adding to my what I'm saying about your number two wide receiver and you needing one. I don't care about whatever it is that you're talking about right now. He's done. He is done, bro. He was done last year. He had nothing last year. He's not going to provide
I just
anything.
want to know.
No spark. No, look at me. No sparks. And it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. But he's going to provide no sparks. He's not going to help that much. He's going to have like two. He's going to have two or three catches a game, and that's going to be it. Or he's going to get thrown to four times a game, and that's pretty much going to be it. Okay. Now back to what I was saying. Um. So now, the only other, the only,
All I need is 500 yards from him. All I need is 500 yards from him.
he may
And
not
just
have
because you talk
500
like that, he gonna get
yards.
you six.
He may not have 500 yards. 500? Come on, relax. Um, he's like your even he's your fourth option even with your tight ends. He's not getting 500 yards receiving, and y'all run the ball so much. He's not giving you 500. Listen, sorry, he's not giving you 500 yards this year, and that's not great. So we'll see. We'll see. So the only other thing that I've ever had questions about with y'all was your pass rush, and I said it's bitten y'all in the ass time and time again, not having said pass rush. But you guys being a team that's a heavy blitzing team, this might be the year where I look at that and say that may not matter. Um, Now, this is the problem with how y'all set up your roster. The problem is your cornerbacks are gonna have to man up and take away every team's number one and number two wide receiver for 17 weeks or 16 weeks plus all the playoff games. I want to see because it's not like y'all rolling coverage to really do it. It's like y'all either taking somebody away or you're not. But y'all are blitzing, and this I know. Um, so I want to see how that turns out. That's one thing I'm curious about, which is why I traditionally like two pass rushers because two pass rushers actually helps the secondary be more creative. But you guys are a blitzing team, so creativity ain't about it. It's getting to the quarterback. Your ceiling is Super Bowl champion. Okay, your ceiling is Super Bowl champion. Your floor, your floor is a second round loss, but I have to see that. But I lean more towards I listen, all I know is y'all better win the Super Bowl. That's all I know. Y'all better win the Super Bowl this year. Okay? Right now, y'all better win the Super Bowl. Or you're gonna hear it from me, okay? Or you're gonna come back on here and you're gonna hear from me.
Listen, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. All
Now,
right, it's gonna be enough with the ring. You know what I
y'all better
mean?
get my boy Lamar.
The
Y'all
strong
better get my boy Lamar
tradition.
a ring this year. This year. Okay.
Y'all need to stop hating on my boy.
Okay. So now we've talked about the northern teams. We've broken down their rosters. So now we're going to talk about the way too early playoff predictions. See, this is where I shine, bro. I tell people, and you know this more than anybody else. I tell people what's going to happen a long time before it actually even happens. So sit back and listen to these playoff predictions. Um, and we're gonna get to it. So in with the picks that I had for playoffs. So I'm giving you my way too early playoff predictions, and you more than anybody else knows. This is what I do. I tell people a long time before it happens what's about to come your way. And people never believe me. They think I'm tripping and bugging, and somehow it looks something like that. So I'm gonna start with the NFC, and I'll give you the teams that I put in, and then you can say what you need to say. So, of course, out of the NFC East, I got the Philadelphia Eagles coming out of the East. Out of the NFC North, I got the Packers winning the North. NFC South, I had the Buccaneers winning the NFC South. And in the NFC West, I have the Rams uh, coming out of the West. Now, I have I have the Commanders as a wild card team. And I do still have the Lions as the wild card team, but I've told you there is some scenarios in which I can see them missing the playoffs. But as of right now, I got them right there. But you ready for this curveball?
I'm listening.
As my last wild card team, I got the Arizona Cardinals as my final wild card team. There it is. Yep, you heard it here first. The Arizona Cardinals are making the playoffs this year. So you can start with the NFC. Let's start with the NFC, then we'll go over to the AFC. Uh, so you just heard greatness come, yeah, I mean, in front of you. So let's hear what you got to say.
I think you've been smoking that shit while you're out the country. Like
Yeah, I also
you
was told
you
that
on
when I
that
told
you on
everybody that
on that
the Lions was going to the NFC Championship game. I would talk when that happened, everybody said, I think he's smoking something. Watch the Arizona Cardinals playoffs 2025-2026 season. Let's go.
um fuck it. Uh, I have the Rams, the Eagles, the Lions. Those are easy. Did you say the Commanders
I put him in the wild
as
card.
a wild Okay, I got Commanders as a wild card, but Packers as a wild card. My other wild card is the 49ers.
Hmm.
Um, Here's where we differ. You have the Buccaneers winning their division.
Hmm.
Fuck it. I'm tired of them. I'm gonna go with I want to say the Falcons, but I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers.
I don't. So first of all, I just
They
want you to
they
know I don't
caught
hate anything that you just said. I don't hate anything that you said, and believe me, I really thought about it. I just looked at the turnover on the roster. I looked at all the rosters. I looked at the camaraderie. I looked at the Bucks been here. They got the same head coach, the same quarterback, same roster. You know what I mean? And they know each other. And I looked at everybody else and say, there's way too many projections. But I don't hate it. I don't hate you saying Carolina or the Falcons making the playoffs or winning the division.
Yeah, I'm going Carolina.
I
I
just
like
don't like the
Carolina
whole NFC South as a whole.
to
Like you
win the
can
division.
you can burn the whole motherfucker down for me, but I'm just telling you I don't hate any of it.
Yeah. I mean, I like I I'm not a believer in Baker Mayfield. And maybe I'm a hater. I don't know. I like I really like Bryce Young. I like Andy. They got a lot of experience. They got everything you need.
Hmm.
I like Adam Thielen. I like Xavier Leggett. Like
I
I
like
like
their wide
Trevor
receiver
Hubbard.
that they drafted.
Like,
The wide receiver they drafted as well. I liked him as well. I don't hate that. I'm telling you the truth. I don't hate any part of
teams
that.
that run a 3-4. I don't know why I like teams that run a 3-4, but I really like teams that run a 3-4. Um, yeah, I'm going with the Panthers.
Okay. Okay. All right. So just so we're clear, out of the NFC, you got the Eagles, you got the Rams, you got the Panthers, and then you have who did you have coming out of the NFC North?
And it's North the Vikings. I mean the Lions.
The Lions. Then you got the Lions. Okay, and the wild cards, you have you I don't think you said the wild cards. You said the Commanders. You said the Commanders, the 49ers, and who else?
The Packers.
And the Packers. Okay. Okay. That's not a bad list. Um, I just don't like in terms of the 49ers, I think that I think coming into the season, they'll have the third best quarterback in their division. And I think that's going to be problematic for the holes in their roster now, as opposed to what was there before.
I mean, I like they will have the third best quarterback, right? I'm not going to dispute that. I don't think Brock Purdy's the next thing, the next anything. But I do like the depth that they had of it every other position. I like I, I like the wide receiver room. I like George Kittle is probably the best tight end in that division. I like Trent Williams is coming back for one more year. If Christian McCaffrey's healthy, I
If
I feel like he can have a bounce
that brother
back.
is broken down.
Listen, I I I like the running backs they have behind them. Like I'm good. I any here's my thing with Trent Williams running on the offensive line. I think those holes would be big enough that someone in a wheelchair could score a touchdown. That's
Well, Christian McCaffrey is damn near in a wheelchair right about now, just to let you know. So that's fine. But like I said, even when I look at that defense, I mean, is Nick Bosa really the guy that he was 2 years ago?
no.
And so basically I'm looking at this defense and I'm like, it's Fred Warner and them.
I feel you. I mean, I feel like they got so much talent sprinkled around. Like they do got two older guys. Nick Bosa ain't him anymore. But I feel like I like the 49ers.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like that
I'm
they
very
got the wide
listen,
receiver
you got to
out.
remember that because I want to have a conversation later on about You picking the 49ers and me picking the Cardinals. I want to have that conversation. Remember that later at another date, later date.
I just want to see who the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Boom.
you can look at the Cardinals roster real quick.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed. I'm gonna stick with my 49ers. Well, not my 49ers, but the 49ers.
Oh, let's see what the
I
go ahead.
I don't think Kyler Murray stays healthy either.
He'll be
He
fine.
never plays 16 games.
They were. I'm trying to think. What was their? I'm just looking at their Cardinals. Um, how many games did they win? And it was their record last year because it was something that's better than you thought. So they were 8-9 last year, and the same conversation that I'm having with the Packers in terms of their young guys is the same thing. Like they just had a whole bunch of young guys, and they were 8-9. You know what I mean? So I, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, I can see them getting another extra game or two. So they were 8-9 last year, bro. The Cardinals, when you look at their roster, they were 8-9. And the 49ers were 6-11. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. All right. So in the AFC, my uh my my AFC playoffs was Buffalo out of the East, Baltimore in the North, Houston in the South, and until further notice, I mean, I'm sorry, I know people were rah-rah about a lot of things. Until further notice, I'm the Chiefs. I'm the Chiefs, okay? I know people were trying to act like their downfall is here. The Chiefs, okay? Three straight Super Bowls, no wide receivers, Chris Jones, and a whole bunch of no-name guys on that defense. By the way, Chris Jones to me is the best defender in football, the best defensive player, period, in football, and nobody even brings his name up. I'm sorry, he went to three straight Super Bowls, and there's nothing on that defense worth talking about outside of him. He's the problem. So he's wrecking havoc in a way that Aaron Donald and him. I said that even when Aaron Donald was still playing. He's not too far off from Aaron Donald, okay? But he's wrecking havoc. Okay, so once again, I got the Bills, I got the Ravens, I got Houston, and I got Kansas City. Now I got Denver in the playoffs. Um, so I got Denver in the playoffs. I have I got my Indianapolis Colts in the playoffs.
Woo!
In the playoffs. Did you hear here?
Woo!
In
Woo!
the playoffs.
Who's your quarterback?
Um, it's probably
Okay,
to be
all
real
right.
with you. And so all right, so let me give you my soliloquy on that. I would rather Anthony Richardson be the guy, but I think it's going to be my friend why can't I think of his name? My man from the Giants. Sorry, his name just slipped my mind. Daniel Jones. But it's probably going to be Daniel Jones, and that's probably why we're going to make the playoffs. Keep in mind, we were 8-9 the last 2 years. This roster is a good roster. Um, Outside of a difference maker at pass rusher, you're not going to be able to put together a much better roster than what we have. Yeah. Um, Now Anthony Richardson can't throw a 5 yard out or a 10 yard route or a drag route or hit a running back out of the backfield. And that's why we ended up at 9-8 because there's a couple games we shouldn't have dropped that we dropped because he can't do that. Daniel Jones is quarterback. He'll be able to do that. We'll win two extra games off of that alone. Like like Anthony Richardson was really that bad. Um, at throwing the football. Now, a deep route, a deep post go route, he's amazing. Running the ball, he's amazing. Throwing quarterback routes, he's just not that good at it. So I absolutely do think yes, we're going to be in the playoffs. And so for that last playoff spot, that leaves me, and I sit between the Chargers and the Bengals as that. And not that I think that the Bengals are just better than the Chargers. I expect the Chargers to do Charger things and miss the playoffs, even though they have a better roster and a better quarterback. And I don't know. Until further notice, that's what that's looking like for me. So once again, my playoff teams in AFC, I got Buffalo, I got Baltimore, I got Houston, I got Kansas City. Then I got Denver, I got Indianapolis, and then I got Cincinnati. That's what I got coming on. So you tell me what you think is going on in these playoffs in the AFC.
I'm gonna shake it up. Um, Obviously, I got the same: the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Texans. You gotta kind of dethrone the Chief to you know what I mean, like I can't just
Hmm.
put anybody ahead of those four teams, right? Um, I believe the Chargers will make the playoffs again.
Hmm.
I actually believe the Broncos, and I hate to say it, 'cause I feel like he should have a sophomore slump and he shouldn't make the playoffs. But I feel like they'll be in the playoffs. I don't think anybody else is making it from my division. I think those front offices all shit the bed. Think like they'll manage, but they'll be
I just
middle of the
like teams
pack.
with great
I
quarterbacks.
want to
That's like a
see.
real strong spot for me. If you got a great quarterback, that kind of gives you an edge in certain situations for me. Continue.
Yeah, but all right, in theory, right? What you're saying is like since the Bengals are going to be able to score, then why don't you have the Dolphins in it? Like as long as they're if Tua stays
Do you know
upright,
their quarterback? That's why.
I mean Burrows gets injured just as often. They're just
Nah,
not concussions. You know what I
nah,
mean? Like,
not like that.
um, me personally, I think that it's going to be a newcomer
And the Bengals were
in
nine
this
and eight last
playoffs.
year, and it all fell to shit. And they were still 9-8. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I don't feel like they did anything to correct that. Like, yes, you like me personally. I would have thought it would have been smarter if they sold one of those wide receivers to be able to afford to upgrade everything else on the team. Because if you're telling me this quarterback's elite, then why do you go spend $300 million at wide receiver?
That's why the front office. That's when the front of office steps in and says, "Listen, I need you to be the quarterback, and I know something about building a roster." Their front office is failing Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, the quarterback, saying, "I want my guys." The front office is supposed to say, if you let me do this, I'm gonna provide you with a better situation."
What I'm saying is Joe Burrows ain't that guy.
Okay.
If you need all that pretty shit, then you ain't that good. Like you literally only helped him. Like that doesn't make any sense. You didn't help the team, you helped him. I'm not a believer. Um I don't think they make it, just like I don't think the Dolphins make it. I think it's going to be either the coaching of the Raiders to pull it out. The only thing that fucked me up with the Raiders is I'm not sold on Ashton Genty. Like, yes, all right, he did great in college. We've had superstars in Alabama come to the league and shit the bed. So why would this? I mean, be not BYU. Where'd he go? He went to the Cowboys, the team with the blue field, right?
Oh, Boise State.
I just don't think he's going to be like. I don't
You
want to
talking
hate
about
on this
Ashton
guy.
Genty?
Don't Boise State, Boise State Cowboys. I don't want to hate on him. Yeah, I don't want to hate on him, but we're putting a lot of stock in him being great. I think it's either going to be the Raiders or the Jets. That's my final wild
The
card. The Raiders or
Raiders
the
or the
Jets. I
Jets?
think the Jets are going
The
to be a
Jets are going to be
defensive
good,
monster. Yes, I'm going.
but
The
they're
Jets
good.
what?
Their good might be like 8 wins though. Like a real strong,
Their good
tough,
might be
hard
12 wins.
nosed 8 wins.
Listen,
I
I
don't hate.
like their
I like where
quarterback.
you went with
He
the
has
Jets.
something to prove. They're going to be a defensive minded team. They got a chip on their shoulder. They have talent at literally every position. They're in a. I'm not even going to say it's a tough division because although I had the Bills winning that division hands down, I think the Jets are the more talented team.
No,
Yes, Josh Allen is way more talented at quarterback.
no.
Who who's a better running back? Who's a better receiver than Brees Hall?
I would say
Or
Brees
not
Hall.
Brees Hall,
You
then
act like Brees Hall had a great year
what's
last
his
year.
name?
He didn't have a great year last year. Like, there's no reason. Like,
Garrett.
there's no situation where you're talking about Cook being a worse running back right now than Brees Hall. Not today.
Brees Hall is a much better running back.
Okay.
Let me. I just want to see this.
So I'm just saying, I don't hate
I'm going
that you
the
brought
Jets
up
or the
the Jets.
Raiders.
I don't hate that you brought up the Jets. I hate that you brought up the Raiders. I don't hate that you brought up the Jets. But they're not going to make the playoffs, though. No, I don't think so.
I feel like they're gonna make the playoffs. I it's something about this roster. I feel like now that you got Fields on that team, you're gonna have a lot more things moving in your favor. Like I think Fields is hungry. Um, he's reconnecting with a tight end from Ohio State. They got a great tight end system. I and also I think the Bills shit the bed again because we needed them to go out and get a wide receiver for Josh Allen and they didn't. I mean, I said this last year. I said I think Josh Allen's going to end up injured because he's trying to carry too much, and you don't really help him. Like I don't understand why they don't go get him stuff.
I
Like
wouldn't understand anything about Lamar
they didn't
Jackson.
go get him. Oh, they
That's
got
funny.
Joey
That's funny
Bosa.
that you say that because I feel the same exact way about Lamar Jackson. That's all I got to say about that. That's pretty ironic
Well,
that you said what you said.
I feel like they did go out and get Lamar help this year. I
No.
feel like this is our best offseason so far. Under the Lamar
All
regime,
right.
this is our best offseason so far.
All right, let's wrap this thing up because now it's getting late. You're getting tired. You know, when you get tired, you just start spouting stuff out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know how you get down. So, with that said, sorry, you already know. We always love having you here, brother. You family on here. The fans love you. Okay, the fans actually do love you. You know, I guess I understand why. But you can catch our full episodes on Spotify and on YouTube. You catch the reels on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We all over the place. Cesar, man, you came through. You came with your Ravens jersey on, ready to talk about y'all Super Bowl run. And unfortunately for you, I still got to make you aware that cuz you don't know football. See, you didn't take that hat off. You look better with the other hat on. You see, you didn't take that off. You know what I'm saying? But just like Martin
Listen,
said,
we going to war this year. It's over for the league. Like y'all gonna see my man gonna come through. He gonna add some more hardware to his shelf. You know what I mean? Like, listen, go hard or go home.
and y'all better get it done too. But just like I said, just like Martin said, bro, I'm gonna see you when I see
The
you.
champ is here. The champ is here.